Okay, so today we are going to go from standard form to factored form in order to solve quadratic equations. Okay, so would you agree the stuff that we did in the last section where we had the factored form set equal to 0 and solving that was pretty simple? Okay, so since we like doing that so much, we want to take our standard form and we're going to convert it into factored form so that we can just solve. Okay, so we're going to be working on factoring today. Okay, I'm going to kind of pull this to the side because sometimes I just like to do my own thing. Okay, so we all know standard form looks like this, right? Standard form looks like y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so we have everything on the same side. Well, at least all the x's, only the y on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to show you two forms of factoring today. Okay, the first one I'm going to call the easy method. And maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit on the easy word, but after I show this to you, you can decide if I'm right about the easy word. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the easy method is if the a value happens to be 1. Okay, so that's the only time that you can use the easy method. Okay, all right, so here's an example. Okay, so let's say they gave us some quadratic in standard form such as this. And just simply said, factor this. Am I in your way? No, you're okay. Okay? Okay. Okay, so easy method, this is what you do. You take a look at the last number, and you say, okay, I need to find two numbers that multiply to the last number and add to the middle number. Whoa, okay, so you guys are already there. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to 6 and add to -7. So what are the two numbers? -6 and -1. Okay, so those are going to be my two quantities. It's simply going to be x minus 6 and x minus 1. And you're done. What do you think? You remember this? Oh, good. Should we do another one? Let's use one of their examples. I can't think of that many in my head. Okay, so this one says we're going to complete the factoring. Okay, so looking at number 1, okay, we're thinking what two numbers multiply to -2, right? What two numbers multiply to -2 and add to 1. See the middle number? 1. So what two numbers multiply to -2 and add to +1? Oh, geez, sorry. Gosh. X minus 2. No. 2 and -1. Okay. So is this too easy? Am I wasting your time now?
Yes.
Okay. Can I go one step further and say, okay, well now let's relate that to solving? Okay, so what's different on question number 5? Okay, so now we have to go one step further and then take those quantities, set them equal to 0. Okay, so let's start by factoring it. Notice it's set equal to 0. So if on the assignment they try to do something like super tricky, like maybe they say x squared equals 5x minus 8. You have to do what first? Set it equal to 0, okay? So you cannot factor until it's set equal to 0, okay? Okay, so what are my two quantities? Okay, 7 and 5. Is everybody okay with that? Did I go too fast? I feel like I'm just going too slow for you guys. Okay, so then if those are my two quantities, then what are my two solutions to this quadratic equation? So x equals -7 and -5. Perfect. Simple? Easy?
Yeah.
Okay. Round 2. I'm going to call this one the hard method. Not that it's hard, but it's just not, it's harder than the easy one. Okay, let's use a different word. What do you want to call it?
Challenging.
Yeah, the challenge.
Challenging?
Absolutely.
Soft.
I feel like that's just descriptive in the wrong way. The not as easy method.
There you go.
That was funny. Okay, so when am I going to use the other method, the not so easy method? When a does not equal 1. Okay, so you have to use this other method when the a value is not 1. Okay, hold on, I need an example. Okay. So example. 3x squared, there we go, plus 10x minus 8. Okay, so let's say we're just taking this and we're just simply factoring it. Okay. Now what I would do if I were you is probably in your own words write out steps to do. Okay, so this is going to take I think about 4 steps, 4 to 5 depending on the way you write this. But in my opinion that's really simple if you have your notes and you're working on a test and you go, whoa, how did I get this? Maybe some little words in your own words would help you. Okay, so this is what you do. You start by multiplying the first number by the last number.
Yep.
Multiply the first number by the last number. Okay, so maybe you would say step 1, multiply the A times the C, because those are the first and the last, right? Step 1, I forgot 1. Okay, so in your brain you're thinking 3 times negative 8 makes negative 24. So in your brain you're thinking, oh, okay, so we got negative 24 here. Okay, so now, remember what we just did for the easy method? Where we said, what 2 numbers multiply to the last number and add to the middle number? We're going to play the exact same game. But this time we're going to multiply to negative 24 and add to the middle number. Okay, so what 2 numbers multiply to negative 24 and add to 10?
6 and 4.
12.
Okay, 12 and negative 2. Everybody okay with that? How we came up with those 2 numbers? Okay, now step 2 is we're going to rewrite the middle term. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't get to it.
It's okay. I just have somebody else to take a start.
Okay. Okay, so rewrite the middle term, I said. What kind of term is the middle term? It is a 10, but what kind of term is it? So remember there, the first term is a quadratic term, is x squared. The second term is a linear term, and the third term is a constant term. Okay, so it goes quadratic, linear, constant. We're going to rewrite the linear term. Okay, so instead of writing a 10x, we're going to replace the 10x with the 2 numbers that we just came up with. Okay, so we're going to rewrite it. So it's going to be 3x squared plus 12x minus 2x minus 8. And if you want to say plus negative 2, I'm okay with that. And in fact, I kind of like the way that looks because I'll show you on the next step. It's kind of nice that way. Okay, so everybody okay. Step 2. Rewrite linear, ooh, good word, term. Those are my words though. Make sure it makes sense to you. Okay. Linear. Hey, as long as it makes sense to you. Mine says linear.
I forgot that.
But it says EAR. Clearly that says EAR. I don't know what you guys are seeing. That's cursive. Anyways. Okay, so step 3 is now what I'm going to call the grouping method. See how there's 4 terms right now? So now we're going to group the first 2, and we're going to group the second 2. Okay, so grouping. Okay, so step 3, group. I don't know if you need to add more words than that, like group first 2, group second 2. Make it make sense to yourself. Okay, so anytime you group with parentheses, you're thinking greatest common factor. Okay, so on my first quantity, when I say quantity, do you know what I'm talking about? That set of parentheses, okay, first quantity, that's like the mathematical word for the stuff in the parentheses. Okay, what's my greatest common factor of the first quantity? 3x. Okay, so I'm going to pull 3x out of the first quantity. What's left over? X plus 4. Everybody okay there? Yes? No? I feel like I see some confused looks. Good there? Okay, so now the second quantity. What's my greatest common factor of the second quantity? -2. So I write that in -2. And what's left over if I pull a -2 out of the first term?
X plus 4.
X, good. Plus 4. Everybody see the plus? Because we pulled the negative. Okay. No? So see how I have -8?
Shimmy.
So if I divide, essentially when you pull out the -2, it's like dividing, right? So what's -8 divided by -2? +4, right? Okay. Anybody notice anything?
That x plus 4 and x plus 4 is the same, so it would be x plus 4 squared.
Okay, and that's a super important thing to notice. Because if these two quantities are not exactly the same, then either I screwed up or the problem is unfactorable. Okay, so once I get to this part, I can just write my two quantities. My first quantity is what you see in parentheses. So what's my first quantity?
X plus 4.
X plus 4. The second quantity is what you see on the outside of the parentheses. So what's on the outside? 3x minus 2. Okay, so at this point, I am fully factored. Okay, so how would you write your step 4? What would you say here? Step 4. Inside one quantity, outside the second quantity? Something like that. Write it in your room. Words. Okay, should we do another one? So what would you call that one? That method? Not as easy? The long method. Yeah, I can't really disagree with you there. Let's see. Let's do 2x squared. 7x plus 3. Okay, so let's take this one slightly small step further, and let's pretend this time it says solve. Okay, so what do I do? Okay, so we're factoring, right? Okay, so what's my first step of factoring in the not so easy method?
Add first and last.
Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so I came up with my 6. Now what do I do?
1 and 6 add to 7 and multiply.
Whoa, okay. Okay, so Jaden was thinking, okay, now what two numbers multiply to 6 and add to the middle number? 7. So what two numbers multiply to 6 and add to 7? 6 and 1. So what do we do with 6 and 1?
Replace the linear term.
Right, rewrite the linear term with 6 and 1. So it's going to be 2x squared plus 6x plus 1x. Do I need to really say 1x?
Yes.
Yeah, not really, but it's not going to hurt, right? I mean, I'm just playing around right now, so I haven't got to the end, so it's not going to hurt anything. If you want to write x on your piece of paper, I'm all right with that. All right, now what? Next step.
Group.
Group. Okay. So I group them. Group the first two, group the last two. And why do I group them? So that I can pull out greatest common factor. Good. So what's the greatest common factor of the very first quantity? 2x. And what's left over if I pull 2x? X plus 3. Greatest common factor of the second quantity? 1. Did everybody hear the word 1? Very good. You still have to pull something. Okay, and if it has to be a 1, then we pull 1. Okay, and x plus 3 is left over. Good. So, did I do this right?
Yes, because x plus 3 and x plus 3 is the same.
Exactly. Okay, and if they're not the same, then I have to go, oh, shucks, I screwed this up. Let me start this over. But I don't have to this time. So one of my quantities is x plus 3. What's my other quantity?
2x plus 1.
2x plus 1. Awesome. Factored. Nailed it. Solve.
Okay, so now x is equal to -3.
So x plus 3 equals 0 and 2x plus 1 equals 0. So everybody said -3 and -1/2. Can you do that in your head?
Yes.
You will. If you can't do it now, you'll get used to it. 1. Shall I do another one? Okay, can I throw one out to you then?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to pick one. It's kind of awesome. Okay, so this is your, let's see if you can do this problem. Okay, so I want you to do question number 7, and I want you to see if you can solve this. I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee and enjoy myself while you guys do all the hard work.